Well, good day everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've just changed my front sprocket from the stock 15 tooth down to a JT 14 tooth front sprocket. Now at the moment that means I'm running 48 tooth on the rear and 14 on the front. Now I've been told by a couple of people that 1448 is like the holy grail setup for a Husqvarna 701 KTM 690 kind of bike. Fingers crossed I'm going to be impressed with it. Two things I'm going to be really interested in is the amount of torque I get low down, and two, how it affects the top end speed of the bike. So if you're interested to see how I get along today, and it's something you might be thinking about doing yourself, stick around and see how I get on. Hey, this is tough. Right, so here we are then out on the trails, and before we start, just a very quick word about sprockets and how they work. First of all, the Husqvarna 701, it comes with 46 on the back and 15 on the front as standard, and to be quite honest, there's nothing really wrong with that if you're doing 50-50 sort of riding and the trails you're riding aren't that difficult. But if you're doing slightly more difficult trails, the moment you start to do them with that configuration, you're going to have a few problems. Now, the first time I went out to Spain, I did the northern loop on the Trans-Euro trail. First time I did that, I was on stock gearing and I suffered. It was a painful experience. I was always hunting around, trying to get in the right gear. First was too long, second wasn't quite right. So when I came back, I changed the rear sprocket. I went from a 46 to a 48, so that's up 2 at the back. And if we look at the chart, I'll put a quick chart up. I'll put it up there. And we look at the chart, you can see where you start there with the 15 front and the 46 rear, and you can see now if you go up to 48 on the rear, it changes to this. Right, what that's doing is increasing torque, but when you increase torque, the thing is you will then start to lose speed off your top end. Now 48 teeth on the back for the majority of the stuff I ride, and for most people I'm sure it'll be fine. But in my last trip to Spain, there were some tricky areas, and I really could have done with a little bit more grunt on the bike. Now, I've got a couple of mates who already run 14 on the front and 48 on the rear, and they swear by it. So after coming back from Spain, now before going into this season, I've decided to go down 1 on the front. So I've now got 14 on the front and 48 on the rear, which changes the gearing again to this. So slightly more torque, slightly less top speed, and you know, we're just going to see how it goes. Now you're going to do 2 tests today. First I want to see how it works on the trails. I'll do a couple of easy ones and a couple more gnarly ones, see how it feels, and then we go out on the road and see what sort of top speed we manage to get on the dual carriageway or a quicker bit of road. Well, that's the plan anyway. So without further ado, let's get out on the trails. One thing you do notice, obviously riding around town, is that you come up through the gears a lot quicker than what you would with stock gearing. So you're not hanging around in first and second that much at all. But it's not a pain. just ride the way you always ride, but now in a gear higher most of the time. But yeah, second gear feels a lot more usable. Feels like it's in exactly the right place for slightly gnarlier trail riding. Right, this lane's a little gnarlier. It's quite steep round the corner, and going down in first, before I'd have to tap the brake, the back brake, quite a bit, so I want to see what that's like when I flick down into first. See what the engine braking's like. Here we go, down into first. Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, the engine braking's a lot more powerful in first gear with the 14 toother. Right, see how flooded this is down here. That would be worse than that. Okay, let's go back down, see what it's like going the other way. Two steep bits going back down this way. Quite slippery. Going first and see what that feels like. Yeah, actually that's holding it really well, and this is quite steep. See if I have to tap the brake anything at all going down here. Oh, that's really holding it well. I'm usually on the back brake quite a bit down there, just dragging it. A little bit there. A little bit there. Right hand side again, aren't we? Yes, please. Yeah, lovely. Go up the step. Yeah, that felt really nice. I rode sort of close to stall speed a couple of times there as well, and I never felt once like it was going to cut out. I wonder who the fuck is camping out here. Probably someone dead in it. See, on a mild sort of slope like this, engine braking in second is holding it quite well too. And second coming up over the slightly gnarlier stuff feels really usable and torquey. And again, doesn't feel like it's going to stall either. Alright, this one we've got another bit of a gnarly one. It's a rocky downhill and then over a little stream and up the other side. Looks muddier than usual as well. Cheers. Got to stop for old dogs, haven't you? That's my gunner now. Back legs are starting to go. Arthritis setting in. Losing muscle mass from his back legs. It's not nice. But, you know, circle of life and all that shit. Yeah, second's doing a good job of holding me here. I'll dab down into first when I get to this corner. There you go. See how we do now. Oh yeah, holding really well. Yeah, I'd have been running on quite a bit with the old 1548 setup. We've been dabbing on that back brake quite a bit. So yeah, it's a significant difference. That one tooth on the front makes, well, what do they say, one tooth on the front's worth two at the back. Okay, second gear, see what this does. Yes, straight in. Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. Nice. Right, so now hopefully we'll see if we can't get it up to speed. See what it's like. yeah, 60 mile an hour, not too bad. And to be honest, I don't go over 60 mile an hour that often when I'm on this bike. I mean, definitely on the continent, I'm usually only going around 100 k's an hour, even on like dual carriageway and that. But yeah, there's a lot more torque. So yeah, if I'm going to be honest, it's definitely lost speed from the top end. But that was expected. And to be honest again, I think I can live with it too. Yes, 60 doesn't feel that bad. Yeah, so there you go. I'll summarise. Right, who would like or who would be benefited by doing a modification like this? Well, I'm talking about guys who are tackling slightly more gnarly stuff off-road, people whose riding leads to more than sort of 70% off and 30% off. You guys are definitely going to get a benefit out of changing to 14 front and 48 at the rear, 100%. The torque vastly improved, as you would expect. Now the trade-off obviously is you lose a bit of top speed, but I've found you can comfortably still do between 60 and 65 miles an hour without it getting too annoying. But off-road, yeah, that's where you see the benefit. The second you go off-road, the second you start tackling more gnarlier stuff. So I'm going to be keeping this setup. I'm prepared to sacrifice that little bit of top end speed. I spend most of my time off-road, so I can live with that. Like I said at the beginning, it's a trade-off, isn't it? So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. Plenty more coming, so keep watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the trials.